Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Today, we are meticulously unpacking a master blueprint for showcasing some seriously incredible new AI tech. We're going to break down a specific creator brief. Think of it as a strategic roadmap that teaches content creators exactly how to present this highly advanced tool to the world in a way that's engaging and, well, actually accessible. Let's get right into it. How do you showcase an AI that runs your tools without code? That is the massive question we're tackling today. Because, it's one thing to build a ridiculously powerful AI in a lab somewhere, right? But it's an entirely different challenge to actually prove to everyday users that this AI can just take over their complex digital tasks without them having to write a single line of code. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Meet Adaptive AI. Before we can understand the marketing strategy here, we really have to understand the product itself. Adaptive AI is defined precisely as an AI agent that builds and runs workflows across your tools. So it's not just your standard generative AI that spits out some text and just sits there waiting. No, this is an active agent. It actually interacts with the digital tools you use every single day, connects them together, and literally executes those processes right there in the background. Moving right along to Section 2, the no-code promise. And this brilliantly illustrates how we actually interact with it, because this is where the real magic happens. Traditionally, if you wanted to set up workflows, you had to know APIs, maybe some Python, or at least deal with really complex visual scripting. It was a massive barrier to entry for most of us. But adaptive AI workflows, they are driven entirely by plain English. Literally, no code needed. The creator brief absolutely insists that this massive paradigm shift has to be the star of the show. Using plain English with no code needed. I really want to linger on that exact phrase for a second because accessibility is everything here. A viewer needs to look at the content and immediately think, wow, I can actually do that. The second they see a scary block of code, they're going to tune out instantly. So the creator's entire job is to visually prove that typing a simple, everyday sentence like, hey, when I get an email from a VIP client, text me and add a row to my spreadsheet, is literally all it takes to trigger that powerful automation.
All right, let's shift gears. Section 3, the content strategy. Let's move to and see how this builds, because how do we actually package these big kind of abstract concepts for a digital audience? Well, it all comes down to a complete narrative funnel. Step 1, the user inputs plain English. Step 2, the adaptive AI jumps in, does all the heavy lifting, and constructs that workflow in the background. And then step 3 is the showcase, broadcasting this totally frictionless process to the world. It's all about visually proving that journey step by step.
Now this brings us to a highly intentional numerical constraint, 5 to 15. The brief specifically dictates that the resulting videos absolutely must run between 5 and 15 minutes, and you might be wondering, why that specific window? Well, because when you're trying to prove that a complex workflow actually works behind the scenes, a flashy 30-second clip just isn't going to cut it. You genuinely need the time to establish a real-world problem, type out the prompt, and then actually watch the AI execute it across multiple platforms. That's how you make the value completely undeniable. And naturally, that 5 to 15-minute target anchors this entire strategy firmly to long-form YouTube videos. So we aren't looking at quick-hit, hyper-edited TikToks or Instagram Reels here. To truly educate an audience on a completely no-code AI tool, creators desperately need the pacing and the visual real estate of traditional YouTube content. That's how you build trust and really get to dive into the nuances. Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, Video Formats and Execution. So the crucial point is, what kinds of videos are creators actually supposed to make? The brief demands variety, offering a really precise 4-part menu: tutorials, walkthroughs, comparisons, and experiment-style videos. Honestly, this is a brilliant approach because it hits every single learning style. You can teach a user to set up an autoresponder, give them a high-level tour of the UI, pit adaptive AI directly against some clunky traditional tool, or, just run a wild experiment to test the absolute limits of what the AI can do. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this huge critical detail hidden right at the end of the brief. A faceless format is fully accepted. Talk about dramatically lowering the barrier to entry. You absolutely do not need an expensive camera setup or perfect studio lighting for this. By accepting a faceless format, the brand ensures that the viewer's focus remains entirely glued to the screen recordings and the AI itself. The software is the sole celebrity here, definitely not the creator. So, with the spotlight shining purely on the AI's capabilities, we arrive at the ultimate question posed by this entire strategy. With a faceless format accepted and the focus purely on the AI, what workflow will you build first? This brief is designed to do so much more than just explain software. It's really meant to eliminate technical anxiety entirely.
Think about it. If you can control your entire digital life with just a few simple sentences and absolutely zero code, the possibilities are literally endless. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.